Greetings and salutations, I am Professor Tabletop, or Michael if you prefer. Since the last couple of my videos have been rather lengthy, I wanted to make this shorter video just going over some of the apps and websites that I use in planning and running my games of D&D. Hopefully some of you find these websites or apps very interesting and or helpful in your planning and running of D&D or other tabletop RPGs as well. But without further ado, I'm going to switch to a voiceover on my computer so I can give you a bit of a visual representation of these websites and apps as well. So the first website that I want to talk about is Pinterest. It's probably a website that you are all very well acquainted with already, but it is a place where you can go, look at pictures and all kinds of things like that, and it has a variety of things. It's a great place for style boards, inspiration for any culinary means that you may be interested in. However, what I use it for is character portraits, location pictures, writing prompts, or even story ideas. On Pinterest, you can find a variety of character portraits that people have drawn and posted to Pinterest. Now, of course, these are other people's works, so you shouldn't publish them publicly as your own, of course. However, for at-home play, it is perfectly acceptable to grab one of these pictures and use it to represent your character. For the location pictures, I use a mix of real life as well as fantasy pictures that I find off of Pinterest. These will give me inspiration for how I want to create and craft the next location or place that my players are about to go, or it is simply a way for me to pull a picture and show my players visually what a place would look like, or at least something very similar to it. For writing prompts, since Pinterest is a place for a variety of boards, pins, and pictures and all types of things, one of those things is also writing prompts, or things to help with people who write and create stories. One thing that you can see here is a writing prompt for creating characters. It's really awesome, the prompts that they give you to really flesh out your characters. Also for people who are just dungeon masters who want to write a better story, there are plenty of prompts to inspire you or how to improve some of your narrative story writing and storytelling. And then, of course, for story ideas, if you're really into Dungeons & Dragons, you may have seen either on Instagram, Twitter, or otherwise, but they are also on Pinterest. As you can see here, a number of story ideas and kind of adventure hooks, if you will. But scrolling through, you can see that there is a number of story prompts and story hooks to choose from. And hopefully by the prompt itself, as well as the art behind it, it can give a little bit of inspiration as to how you want to place another hook into your game. Or I use them a lot as hooks and story plots for one-shots. The second website that I want us to talk about is Pixabay. So if for any reason you need very nice stock images that are copyright free, then this is the place to find them. They have beautiful pictures of almost anything you could want, whether that be fantasy pictures, nature, animals, people, places, all of that. And you can find images that are photos, vector graphics, or even just illustrations. So there are a wide array of things that you can do. There are also purchasable pictures that you can use as well. And since these are all copyright free, you can take them and use them in your own products that you wish to sell. And of course, while they do not require it, it is a common courtesy to link back to the individual who you got the picture from. So if you do take a picture from Pixabay, it would be very kind to link back to the artist that you took it from, just giving credit back. The next website is rolladvantage.com. This is a place that is amazing for making tokens. Minis can be expensive, but if you have a printer, paper, some clear packing tape, and some cardboard, then you can easily make dozens of tokens. This website specifically makes that process a lot easier. I'm also going to link a YouTuber, WASD20, down in the description. He has an amazing video on making tokens as well. He is actually the person that I learned how to make tokens from, and he does it a different way than just using this website, but paired with how he does it as well as pairing it with this website makes token making a whole lot easier. So if you are in need of some tokens and you are unable to get your hands on a bunch of minis, this website is an amazing and quick and efficient way to do it. The next website is probably also a very common one and a very well-known one, which is Fantasy Name Generator. So, as the name implies, this is a website that can crank out a number of fantasy and fantastical names. This website has dozens of name generators from all types of works of art and literature and all kinds of things. Going down into their fantasy names, you can see they have dozens of different names and generators to choose from hobbits, elves, dwarves, dragons, and just even generic evil names. You can see also they have real name generators that you can choose from that has a whole bunch of ethnicities and races that you can pull from for real world inspiration. However, if you want something a little bit more specific, you can scroll down and find name generators for specific video games and tabletop RPGs and things of that nature, such as D&D, Starfinder, Pathfinder, Mass Effect, World of Warcraft, and the list goes on. The next website is less of a website and more of an application that you can download for your computer. This application is called Wonderdraft. It is an incredible mapping program that I enjoy a lot. Now, it does cost a little bit of money. It costs about $30. However, this is a one-time purchase, no subscription required, so once it's bought, it's yours. With this program, you can create detailed worlds, regions, or continent maps with this program. I use it all the time for my world maps and even more specific regional maps. Detailed battle maps are less doable unless you're very creative, I think, but for those bigger maps, it is an amazing program. As you can see here, this is my world of Jedemire. Now, of course, it is not perfect by any means, but I really enjoy how it came out. And there are so many different themes and things that you can do, building your land masses or just randomly generating land masses for you to use, being able to color these land masses to signify different regions of weather and climate. You can add mountains and forests and all types of things. So it's really awesome. I really enjoy it. I would highly recommend it. So if you can set aside about $30, once you buy it, once again, it's yours. Every so often, they'll come out with updates that you can just simply update, no extra purchase or anything required. It is really awesome. The next website, which is also pretty popular, is Hero Forge. If you haven't heard of Hero Forge by chance, then I'm glad to be the one to inform you of it. It's an incredible website where you can create a 3D model of your tabletop character as miniatures. They even recently released an update that allows you to paint the minis as desired. Now, this is a website meant more for the creation and then purchase of a personalized miniature for your tabletop games. However, should you not have the money, it's an awesome way to better visualize your specific character by giving them the correct weapons, armor, hairstyles, height, weight, etc., etc. For example, as you can see here, this is my newest character, Lycopercy. They are an Aasimar Divine Soul Sorcerer. Super fun to play, and even probably more fun to make. The colors and the creation of Lycopercy was really fun to do. The next website is Kobold Fight Club. When making encounters for your party in D&D, you don't want to put your party in a situation where they will all be slaughtered without a chance, but you also don't want to make the encounter so easy that they clear it without even taking a scratch. Of course, unless those are your intended goals, and then go for it. However, if you don't want to fall into any of those extremes and you want to challenge your players but make sure that it is a doable encounter, then I will say encounter building is one of those arts that just kind of takes time and knowledge of your group to really nail down the difficulty. However, I have found that this website really helps. Kobold Fight Club will automatically determine whether the encounter you've set up for your party is going to be easy, medium, hard, or deadly. All you do is choose how many players you have of a certain level, then simply search and add the enemies that will be in the encounter. This will then give you that easy, medium, hard, or deadly rating of the encounter, and then you can kind of go from there. Normally how I use Kobold Fight Club is I will build an encounter, put it into Kobold Fight Club, see how difficult it is, and then with that information I will go back and balance it a little more accordingly, making sure there are enough enemies within the encounter to make it difficult so my larger party doesn't just steamroll through it with all of their turns that they have, but also make it challenging enough to where it's not going to kill them, but also not going to be super easy for them. However, like I said, this is kind of a balancing act, and the knowledge of building an encounter comes with time, but Kobold Fight Club is a really good place to start to kind of help. The next website is Donjon. This website has a ton of sections to look through. They specialize specifically in random generation. The random generation that they have is things such as calendars, names, magic shop items, dungeons, and much more for your D&D world. My personal favorite thing to use this website for is their magic item list and their spell sheet list. Both of these list all the magic items and spells within the game from many of the sources available. By clicking on these, most of the time you can see a description of them. Now, all of them aren't available to be seen due to all the legal reasons, but it also gives a page number where you can find it in the rulebooks as well. It's just a really nice website to see a large assortment and list of the magic items or spells in D&D. That way you don't have to go through the rule books and try and search through all the breaks and the text and the images and everything. Rather, this website gives you a nice orderly list that you can change how to view it, whether by name, rarity of items, spell levels, etc., etc. It's super nice, super easy to just view and see. It's a website that I used a lot in my early days of running Dungeons & Dragons. For the next website that I wanted to talk about is Tabletop Audio. For a great place to find ambient or background music for your games, then this is a very good place to look. Tabletop Audio presents hundreds of 10-minute audio titles that can be used for your home games. And as long as your Twitch video channel or podcast is nonprofit, then you can even use these audio clips in those as well. These audio clips can either be played right off of the website, or they can be downloaded and played through an audio player. It's a really nice website that I would highly recommend checking out. The creators of this place have a Patreon that you can even check out as well. They do really good work. I really enjoy the audio and the quality that they have here. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. The last three here are less websites and more apps for your phone, but I use them a lot and I would feel remiss not to add them to this. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is DnDify. Now I'm unsure if you can find this on all phones, but on my Android I can find it. But what this app does is you can link it to your YouTube or Spotify and play pre-made playlists from them. You can quickly play ambient, atmospheric, or combat music right from your phone. Pair that with a Bluetooth speaker and music for your tabletop game is super easy. And the app itself is free. Having Spotify or YouTube Red subscriptions helps as it eliminates the ads that will pop up, but it's still a solid choice for ambient or atmospheric music. I have Spotify Premium already, so using this app and linking it to my Spotify, it has a bunch of pre-made playlists that you can very, very quickly just click on and it'll start playing them automatically. I've found that this helps tremendously with adding that little bit of atmosphere to the games that I run. You can even use this app online as well, as long as you are on Discord, you can play Spotify and your players who are in the Discord chat with you can join your Spotify and listen to it as well. This allows you to still maintain that atmosphere of being able to quickly switch between playlists and atmospheric music for your party, even over Discord. The next is an app that should be on both Apple and Android phones, as I'm pretty sure most of my friends and people who play D&D with me, I have told them to get this app because it's just that good. It's called DnD Spells 5e. It gives a list of every spell known to D&D. It's an amazing app to have at the table for quickly finding and referencing your spells. It also allows you to create your characters and create their spell list right on your phone. From the app, you can even track their spell slots, spell DC, and their spell attack. It's super, super useful. However, for the characters that you can create, you only get one. However, if you pay $2 or $3 or somewhere in between, you can fully buy the app, which will give you an unlimited amount of characters to create. I found this to be very worth it as a dungeon master of many spellcasting NPCs. Now, a word of warning for this app, however, I have found, albeit very, very seldomly, that sometimes some of the spells will be a little misleading opposed to their actual rulebook written text. There may be a line of text absent from the app where it would normally say you get a save every round that the app doesn't say or it didn't carry over. Now, this is very, very rare. I've only found 1 or 2 instances of this in the year that I've had this app, so I still highly recommend it. It's very, very useful. Now, the last app and the last thing that I have to talk about here is called Druid Shape 5e. Similar to the DnD Spells app mentioned previously, this one does a similar thing by listing a bunch of useful information. However, instead of spells, it lists all the wild shape options your druid has at certain levels. You can even make a profile for your character to use so that you can switch between characters, which will then give you a separate list of beasts your characters can turn into. It has options for you to choose the level of your character, choose if they are a moon druid or not, and it will give you the entire list of beasts and or elementals as well that you can turn into for your druidic character. I found this one to be incredibly useful for my players and myself when we play any type of druidic character. Well, I hope some of these websites or apps were interesting for some of you guys, and I hope you implement them in your planning and running of D&D. But that's all I have for this video. Hopefully it was pretty quick opposed to my last couple. But in any case, I hope you have found this video informative, enlightening, or at the very least entertaining, and I appreciate it.